solemn moment. But moving forward, we have two kind of cool things that may be coming our way in the future. Well, I know one of them is definitely coming, but there's rumors and possibilities that we may be seeing another Silent Hill game coming out of Kojima Studio, or at least something along those lines, maybe a spiritual successor. But again, this is also coming from Forbes. Matt Perez says that Silent Hill fans think Hideo Kojima's new studio is teasing a new entry in the series. So, Silent Hill fans are fervently scrutinizing a social media post from game studio Kojima Productions, believing it's a teaser for a new entry in the beloved survival horror series. Given game director and studio founder Hideo Kojima was working on one when he infamously left Konami in 2015. Fuck you, Konami. The tweet features Kojima Productions head of communications Aki Saito holding a phone and pencil with the caption, "Sorry to be silent, everyone. I've been really busy lately. I think I can say more soon on what we are about to do, or what we are going to." It also shows that so in the tweet, some things that are notable are the fact that some hints are to be said, although he says silent in the tweet. Also, Saito's pencil has a pyramid thing on it, which they interpret as a reference to the series' best-known enemy.
Pyramid Head.
Yeah, fans have also zoomed in on the notepad Saito's writing on, which reads "next week," perhaps hinting at an upcoming announcement. Before his very public split from the longtime employer Konami, Kojima, in collaboration with Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro and Walking Dead star Norman Reedus, released a PT demo, which is fucking awesome. Sucks that it can't be accessed anymore. Fuck you, Sony. Probably Konami is the one to be said. Fuck you too.
Yeah, it's Konami.
It was served as a celebrated survival horror experience, and the announcement for the series soon to be canceled ninth entry, Silent Hills. Soon after the launch of the debut title Death Stranding in November, which starred Norman Reedus as well as Guillermo del Toro. Kojima shared that he was watching The Eye as to make the scariest horror game, a film he also watched to prep PT. The Eye.
It was all right. It wasn't. I mean, I could have pointed him in better directions in The Eye.
The Eye is the Eye horror movie I rent when making PT, but was too scary to finish watching. Oh my god.
It was okay. It wasn't too scary.
Shawn's like, put me in Kojima Productions, bro. Get me over there.
Yeah, and like they need to don't listen to Guillermo.
Yeah, so hopefully Konami releases their hold a little bit. I'd love to see another Silent Hill game, and I thought PT had a lot of potential, and Silent Hills had a lot of potential, back in 2014. But I don't think we'll see Silent Hills per se, but maybe a spiritual successor, like I said, another survival horror game with the same elements that just isn't breaking copyright, so they can make it and not get yelled at. But boys, what do we think? If we do see another Silent Hills-like game from Kojima Productions, are we looking forward to that? Is that something we want?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, you don't like
nope,
horror?
Sorry.
What a pussy! Bro, I
don't care. I do not care. Those games aren't for me.
You're a bitch, bro.
Look.
I'm gonna have OC Chad go in your anime and fuck all your waifus,
I
bro.
appreciate what it's done for like games and stuff, but I don't like those games. I don't like playing those games. So y'all can enjoy them if you want to. I think it's cool that he's making one. That I agree with. I think that's awesome that Konami's doing that. But the game itself, I don't care. I honestly don't care. I'm just glad it's being made.
I think Kojima's good for Silent Hills, but it can easily be bad as well. Because one thing me and Shawn have both said here before, that Kojima's good when he's like checked, when he has checks and balances around him, which I think is pretty good. I think that's what he has surrounding him at Kojima Studios, because Death Stranding wasn't insanely Kojima. There was some elements.
Everything he's worked on, there was a batch of 3 guys, mostly 2 guys, that helped funnel his creative direction, and in some ways were more responsible for the end product almost than he was. Like, he would form a core idea and they would do the rest. I don't remember their names right now, but then one of them left to go do other stuff, and then another guy got a promotion and he stopped working alongside it got a promotion within Konami, and then the third guy still works for them off and on. But when Kojima's left to his own devices, he's kind of a douche-tard. So it's important to have somebody there, kind of helping to funnel his approach and refine some of his ideas and mute some of the more outrageous ones. Also, he's got a problem making his games his mouthpiece. Which especially when it comes to a guy with ideas that polarizing at times. Sometimes it's best for him to not be spouting off his ideals in the game, but it is ultimately his baby. So if he does it, he does it. But they kind of helped tone down some of his volume, so to speak.
Yeah, I feel that. And I think that if, again, properly checked, I think he has the kind of vision to make an interesting Silent Hill entry or something along those lines, a psychological survival horror game. Also, the engine that they use for Death Stranding, which is the same one I'm pretty sure they used in Horizon Zero Dawn, is fucking gorgeous. And I would love to see a world built using that engine for Silent Hill. I just need something like that. I wonder if he'll still keep his thing with Norman Reedus going and still put him in there. So I don't know if that has anything to do with licensing that Konami did. I don't know if that they patented shit that involved Reedus. I have no idea how the hell any of that works. But if it just being the same exact game as Silent Hill is just not called it as a psychological horror game, I think that would be a huge, not only success for that community, but just something that I just really want to see. I want to see what the capabilities that would come out of that is, especially seeing all these other remakes. Like with Resident Evil 2, we have Resident Evil 3 around the corner, and seeing how pretty those games are. I just want to see another like AAA horror game, and Silent Hill's approach is one of my favorites when it comes to horror. I love psychological horror, and I think Silent Hill does it incredibly well, especially because the Japanese are very in tune with making media that approaches like the psychological element. They do a lot of that shit. They're really big on the psychological approach. So I think that Kojima, again, if he's properly checked and he's not being, what's the word? Like too big of himself kind of thing, and not making everything on the nose, because he also has some tendencies where he can make just shit that's just too on the nose, where he thinks he's being really smart, but it's just plastered in your face too much, and it just makes it not all that good. So again,
yeah, and you really don't want him being the only guy
working on Silent Hill.
Or the female characters.
Oh, well, we'll see. Bro, give me big titty pro tag. Big titty Silent Hill pro tag. But I would just personally,
why they call him Big Dick Kojima. Like there's in the fucking the critic circle, they call him Big Dick Kojima for a reason, because he, like, anytime females are involved, he's always kind of writing the characters with his dick.
Yeah. It's nice that he wasn't too crazy about that with Death Stranding. Again, he probably has someone on his team that's doing a good job pulling the leash when need be. So, again,
Guillermo wouldn't let that shit fly.
I think that
part of a project that did that.
I think that the Kojima Productions studio we currently have working on a Silent Hill entry or something along those lines, a spiritual successor, would be awesome to see in the coming years. And if they are doing that, and that is something they're planning, we'll obviously be following the story here on the show as anything else happens. So since they said next week, that was only a few days ago. So this coming week, we may hear more about this. They might drop a bomb on us. We don't necessarily know. And yeah, I'd be down for it, especially in that engine. The engine's gorgeous. And I want to feel like the monsters are licking my taint, bro. Like they're that realistic. I need that. And bro, VR game in the Decima engine. I'm pretty sure it's the Decima engine is what it's called. VR game in the Decima engine. There's no way in hell it's going to work. It might run the PS5 actually. I don't know how much they'll be willing to support VR on the new next gen consoles. I haven't really heard much about that, to be honest. Now that I think about it,
they're going to be fully supporting it.
I'm sure they will. I just haven't heard any other plans.
They're actually working on a big time upgrade.
They better
to the VR headsets.
Yeah, because like the PC market is absolutely trouncing them. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're shitting on them. That's the low brain word, small brain word. They're shitting on them in regards to like the improvements to the VR tech, especially Valve with their newest set. Like that shit is practically like 2030 level stuff going on there, where it actually tracks all your fingers independently and all that shit. Like that's insane. And Sony's still sitting with like, they're still using like inferior sensors and shit and all that other stuff. So Oh yeah, I'd love to see a big time upgrade. Something that could rival the new the Valve rig. That'd be cool. Like imagine Sony coming out the gate with that. Like big boom, big dick energy Sony. Like this is a feature here, boys.
Yeah, but
Boys.
Sony did that before and got their asses handed to them.
With what?
Like with the PlayStation 3 Fat Boy.
Oh. Well,
The Fat Boy was completely backwards compatible. PS1, 2, and it played PS3. It up-resed PS1 and PS2 games. It had 4 or 5 different memory card expansion slots for you to use, so you could choose
I don't know if we're
how
in
you
that
saved your data
time anymore.
and you could partition the drive and put a Linux fucking system on there. And it had
Why the fuck would someone
4
do that?
USB ports on the front, so it was feature rich, and they built it with muscles over ease of programming, so it was hard to write for. Whereas the 360 came out, couldn't compete much on most levels, but was easy enough to write for that you got better frame rates, better adaptations, etc., 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 from PC ports. And but it couldn't do half the shit that the PS3 could do.
I need to click out of this group call. I'm seeing these fucking titties flopping, bro. I don't know.
I'm still watching.
Can you stop a GIF from not working, bro? It won't turn off. I have to like switch chats. Fuck sake.
I don't know about
it's
GIFs.
like
What's up
mesmerizing.
GIFs from happening?
Yeah, GIFs are.
Shut the fuck up, bro. Don't talk to me, bro.
He's probably got to go check with Hades and see if he has any epitomes.
Hey, epitome confirmed to be right word. So fuck off. I win those. Some of them. I don't know. I don't see that happening in this day and age. Mostly because
nobody's pushing the technological envelope anymore, man. They're looking to see what everyone else is doing, and they're trying to beat them by 1/10 of an inch.
You got Xbox set quote unquote saying they're pushing 8K, which is something that even isn't readily available in homes. That's technically pushing the technological envelope.
It's not something you're gonna make use of. Your eyes can't check that kind of shit.
I don't know if they've confirmed that with at least resolution. I know that works with frame rate because of the I don't shutter speed isn't the right word, but it's the same premise of your eyes. The way they see the light, it doesn't reach higher frame rates. But I don't know how far it goes in regards to because we have like UHD and all that and the TVs and shit. And isn't that like fucking like 16,000 pixels or some shit like that last time I checked? I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, they're making it, but that doesn't mean you're actually getting the benefit of it.
Yeah, UHD is 3,000 by 2,000, 4 times higher than its predecessor, which is 8 million pixels overall. 4K is it's the same type. So UHD is 4K. Let me see.
Yeah, we're hitting a technological point where computers are going to change how they're designed. Their basic functionality and the way that we've grown to know them over the past, say, 40 years, 30 years is going to be drastically different.
I mean, we're basically approaching Murphy's Law at this point where, like we've
Murphy's Law?
Yeah, Murphy's Law. We've capped out, what's possible, and the next step is like the next technological advancement. I mean,
that's not Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law is whatever can happen will happen.
Oof. Wait. So I looked it up, and it says that a viewing distance of 20 inches, it can translate to 170 pixels per inch. Oh wait, no. 170 DPI pixels per inch, which is 0.14 millimeters. What's the highest resolution humans can distinguish?
I remember when they were doing it in hertz. I remember something like
hertz is just refresh rate. So hertz isn't necessarily something that the technology itself, the processor itself is pushing out. It's what the stuff displaying it is displaying it at a certain rate. And it's just refresh rate. It's how fast the frames themselves refresh.
Doesn't that have something to do with frame rate, though?
Well, frame rate is what's being pushed out by the system. Hertz is what the capability of the display is capable of.
It's Moore's law. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Moore's law.
I was gonna say that. I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. No, it's Moore's law that we're approaching. We're basically approaching the point where we've almost hit a sort of a dead end when it comes to technology, like the
bottleneck.
Yeah, bottleneck, because data right now has becoming bigger and bigger because we're using
5G is what's gonna tip the scales.
5G is gonna make all our brains melt. Confirmed here on the Thought Patrol podcast.
Then they already proved that the 5G radiation was not harmless or not harmful.
It isn't harmful, no.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but they're like, it's like it's something they think, right? And it makes sense within the science that we have. But like, it's something that we think is not harmful until it is harmful, and they're like, "Oh fuck, it's harmful," kind of thing. Because they had something with that. There's like this African village they had built. I don't remember where the fuck it is. Somewhere in Africa. They built up this radio tower, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, this doesn't affect humans." But it was like it didn't affect humans above a certain age. So like growing infants were actually growing with deformities because of the radiation coming from this tower. And it was like it actually had caused this one issue with this one child. They were born with like 400 something teeth. No, it might have been more than that, like 1,000 or 2,000 something teeth, but they're all like really small teeth. And there's like some kind of like like issue that you can have while growing.
Weird.
It's really weird because the thing is it's not the teeth. It's not like they were really small teeth that sat like how our teeth sat. They're like in these little pockets that sit above teeth, and they cause these like tumor-like looking growths. And they were just pockets of pure teeth. All this like pocketed up there because there's something that caused the growth to go completely out of control, almost like a cancer, but with teeth instead of cells. And it had fucked up this kid, and they had to like do surgery on him, or else it was building pressure in his head because it was pushing on the skull all these teeth. Very interesting
beyond
story.
Horrifying.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy as hell. But they found out it was all this radiation coming from this tower they had built in the village. All because it was at the point where it wasn't affecting the adults from the tests that they had done until they found out it was affecting babies that were being born. They were having fucking
Why didn't they shield
defects. I don't fucking know. They might have shielded it. I don't know how the hell it works. It's Africa. They probably don't give a fuck. So
they don't.
Yeah, it's just weird. Dude.
You know they don't.
Yeah.
If the corporations, if they
how the fuck
don't
did we
think
get
they
here?
can
By
be
the way,
sued, they're fucking whatever.
Okay, so Kojima game. We excited for a new Silent Hill or a successor?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
To be honest,
yeah, we'll have to see how it looks.
Like I want to be, but
it's about as excited as me seeing like. Although I have much more faith in Kojima than I do Ubisoft, but Ubisoft making a new Splinter Cell, like I'm excited to see something from it. But are they gonna fuck it up or not? I don't know because they've never done it, or at least Ubisoft. I know they may fuck it up, and Kojima, I know he can fuck it up as well. So like, how excited am I to see this?
If somebody told me like George Lucas was returning to Star Wars, and I'd be like, well, it's better with that than the way it's been going.
But not necessarily the best outcome either.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, you saw what happened to the prequels. Like, I mean, I feel like they were firing slightly better than the Disney movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
But really not.
I mean, at least we weren't like annihilating established rule sets and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
they felt like Star Wars movies. It just felt like poorly written Star Wars movies. These new ones don't feel
basically
like
fan fiction is what it was.
Yeah,
the new ones. The new ones feel like fan fiction. Yeah, they do feel like fan fiction. That's a great fucking analogy.
Yeah,
it wasn't my idea though. I don't know who said it, but that's what I saw somewhere.
So, it feels like a Disney princess movie. It feels like the way Disney runs their cartoons. Okay. That's really the whole thing.
So definitely, especially if they get like, again, I don't know how any contracts may or may not work, but if they get Guillermo del Toro to help with directing it too, I just make PT, please. Like, I was so distraught when I heard that was canceled. Like, I felt like someone had taken my day, stomped on it, and then shit down my throat, and I just couldn't do anything about it. And I felt like that for a fucking week. I was so goddamn sad that we had lost what may have been the best horror game to grace us. Yeah, like, and if they can even get close to what they were able to achieve with that demo, then I'd say that's a victory. So if they can manage that, please, I'd love that.
So the demo was really where it pulled ahead was the atmosphere. You hadn't had a horror experience that was that intimate. You know, I mean, especially a first-person horror experience like that.
Yeah,
and that atmosphere was just sharp and terrifying, and you had no control over what was happening to you.
And I think a lot of that also
experiencing.
Yeah, a lot of that also, again, the fact that there was help coming from Guillermo del Toro. And I think is them working in tandem is what made that as special as it was. So another thing is if it's just Kojima Productions and we don't have Guillermo del Toro working with him, then what might it turn out to be on top of that? So it really comes down to how it.
He was a creative. He had some creative input on the Castlevania reboot, which wasn't bad. It was a solid game. It just didn't feel like Castlevania. Because it was another one of those Devil May Cry-esque. You know, you had a heavy attack, a light attack, and then combos. Then you bought moves and upgraded those moves and so on. And then you had various calibers of enemies that you had to use different tactics on. That whole kind of genre. And Kojima would step in and say, hey, let's do a platforming section here. Or I think it needs some of this or it needs some of that. And Kojima Productions was behind it. But Kojima didn't have a huge role in it. And that was not a good turn for Castlevania. Like, I love the 3D Castlevania games that do exist. There's 2 on PlayStation 2. The second one was definitely stronger than the first because it was a 3D Metroidvania. So there was this huge area you could roam through as long as you had the ability to access the different areas, like all the 2D ones that came before and after. Whereas the first 3D one they did was levels. Like you had a hub, and then you would access certain levels by going through certain doors. I think that the second one was brilliant. I thought it was excellent. I didn't have any flaws or problems with it. And I would love to see them go back to something like that. And instead, Kojima did stages. And there was like secrets and things you could find in the stage, of course, but it was linear in terms of like you could only go in one direction, forward or backwards. And it was a tunnel, so to speak, like Final Fantasy 13. A bit like that. I mean, the set pieces were nice, the graphics were nice, the music was brilliant, but it was God of War with a whip and a better attitude.
Yeah,
that was about the only difference. And they completely upended the canon because it was a reboot, and they made the first guy you were playing who looked to be a Belmont or very Belmont-esque. And he turns into Tepish. He becomes Dracula eventually. It was a really dumb idea. And he was behind that. And they just kind of went with his suggestions. I don't know. Like you need people who are able to funnel his approach. I don't want to play a game where he's the sole guy, unless it's like classics like that, like the Cyberpunk one or something.
Yeah. Sounds good, though. I'm excited to see what comes out of it at the very least. And moving forward, hopefully we get some news. Next story. And
Kojima on the next Pokemon? What do you think?
Huh? Oh, yeah? Shit, right. Yeah. Be better than Sword and Shield. God fucking damn it. But
don't say that to my daughter. She's got both.
Yeah, don't say that to me either. I'm here.
Fuck Sword and Shield. And fuck you too. All right, let's move forward. So.
Wow. I feel loved here, don't I?
Yep,
I still love you, Sam.
So recently, actually, it was quite a while ago. Now, probably a few months.
Recently, but a while ago.
Yeah, it's like four months ago. I mean, yeah.
Relatively recently.
They had the 10-year anniversary for League of Legends, and during that, Riot Games, who are the people behind it, announced that they had a new dev studio that they were creating called Riot Forge. And in the studio, they were going to be making games that weren't League of Legends, so new games, and they were going to be funneling funds towards these new titles, and they showed off a couple projects in that stream. They had Project A, which is the one we'll be talking about today, which actually now has an official name, and it was like a first-person shooter. There's a fighting game coming out. They had a platformer coming out.
Sir.
Some of these games will be set in the League universe of Runeterra, which is really exciting.
A hero shooter. Please don't be a hero shooter.
They have. We're going to talk about it. So they have fantastic lore to work on with some of these games, like the platformer featuring Echo and Zahn, and they announced an animated show they'd be working on featuring Jinx, Caitlyn, and Piltover, and Vi, and all those characters and stuff. Would also be really cool. I'm excited to see that. Especially the animation style looks so fucking clean for that show. I can't wait. I think it's called. Oh my god, what was it called? Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. League show.
It's called Titties Dodging Bullets.
League of Legends show. Arcane is what it's called. So that's fucking
Your mom's
exciting.
Arcane.
Thanks, man.
Ooh.
Oh, they had a new trailer come out. I'm not gonna watch that now, but it has like Jinx, Caitlyn, and Vi, so that's cool. So they announced all this shit. One of the things that caught my attention was Project A. It caught a lot of people's attention, which effectively is now Shawn. It's a hero shooter, but it's not Overwatch. Listen. It's not Overwatch. Because the problem with Overwatch is it's a shooter where shooting is not the most important thing. The teamwork and managing your abilities is. This game is primarily a shooter first. So it's like CSGO. Now, the way the abilities work, from what I understand and what from people who have play tested the game have said, is that abilities are unique to characters that you pick, but you do not start with them. They actually exist within the pool of, because it works like CSGO, and in CSGO, there's a economy system to the game. As you get kills, you'll get money, and that money can buy, at the start of every round, weapons. So if you want like a really good assault rifle or something, you'll pick that up at the start of the round with the money that you've earned from kills, or if there's a bomb objective, planting or defusing the bomb, anything like that. Now, the abilities that are unique to the characters are within that pool. So a few things that make that really nice is not only is it easy to balance something like that, because if you have something that's really strong, you don't have to technically nerf that ability. You can just make it more expensive. It's really easy to balance. In systems, because one issue with Overwatch is that the balance game that they play, they're too quick to nerf things. So what they'll do is they'll kill the feel of characters to kind of balance them down to the rest of the group. Now, the problem with nerfing and not buffing other characters, it's obviously easier just to nerf one person down to everyone else's level instead of buff everyone else up. But in that process, you're taking away the uniqueness of characters a lot of the time, and you're making their tools, that what makes them varied and unique, you're making them less potent, and in that process, you're killing the style of that character, the play of that character. But with this, they can make abilities as strong as they want, or as game-changing as they want. All they got to do is make it more expensive. Make it where they're less available. You don't see them as often because you have to work up to get to that game-changing ability. Now, from what I've seen and what I've heard from people, these abilities aren't as game-changing as like the ultimates in Overwatch, where you're like resurrecting people or stunning an entire team. They're more like tactical. So like it could be a wall you throw up that's like a smoke grenade or something along those lines. Or like there's one person that can revive. But they're all like things that they provide more of a tactical edge to a gunfight. But if you're still very good at aiming and using your weapon and hitting headshots, which is from what I understand as well, as long as you're able to hit a headshot with an assault rifle, that's a kill. It's an immediate down. There's no high health pools. There's no hitting multiple headshots. You hit a headshot on someone, that's a kill. They're out. And it is round based. So you'll come in, you'll have lives, you'll buy your guns at the start of round. Again, very much like CSGO. You'll do your objective, get kills, plant a bomb, whatever you have to do for that round. And then whoever you kill, you know, are dead for that round. And then you'll come back and do whatever the hell you have to do the next round. And then the abilities will be scattered out throughout that fight. So one thing I like with Riot is that they have a really nice attention to like visual flair. A lot of their stuff looks cool. They spend a lot of work making their things look cool, making things look unique and different, and they have a cartoonish style with a lot of their stuff, but it's nice. It's not, I don't know, I just like the look of a lot of their shit. It's not like, oh, there's this wall and it's green. And it's like, no, it's like smoke wall, it's green, there's all these little lines going through and shit. It just looks cool. A lot of their abilities look nicer than like a typical, I don't know how to fucking say it. I don't know how to put it to words. But like if you watch any of the promotional content they make, if you watch any of the champion reveals they make for like League and stuff, they have a lot of attention to detail when it comes to fully creating this character. And not only how they look, but what their abilities look like, what they may sound like. There's like this really good like devotion to making those things cool. I don't know how to put it any other way than that. But again, the game, which is the news article basically, the game's called Valorant. They went out and there's a trademark filed by the company Riot Games, and it's called Valorant. The trademark was filed February 20th. Its status is still pending, so it may not be Valorant at the end of the day. But there is a Twitter account that they created named Valorant, and they have a follower to that's called PGA, but in its bio it says Project A Waiting Room. So they are connected some way or another. People have found that these two are connected. So Valorant most likely will be the name at the patent. The patent goes through. Yes, words are
patent.
Patent. I didn't say patent.
Add that to the list.
Patent is a word, but that's a different word.
Patent, isn't it? Patent when you file a patent.
Yeah, it's a patent.
It's patent.
Okay, y'all are fucking making me lose my mind. But so Project A is called Valorant. I've been following this game for a while. I'm actually really excited. We don't have a complete release date, but with seeing more of this stuff happening, them settling on a name, creating socials, we might see an actual announcement soon coming out of the Riot Forge team. And again, if they make it where this is effectively CSGO with kind of like a slight hero shooter flair, but it's not overpowering like what Overwatch is, I could see this game doing incredibly well, especially if it's free to play. Now, one thing is League usually does not tend to the console community. So I don't know if you guys will ever get to actually play this until you get a PC. It's entirely possible that they will not port this game. Now, would it be smart for them to do so, knowing that if it is free to play, that just getting more people into the game would be a good idea? Yeah, probably. Might it be crossplay? They've said nothing about this, and I don't know, but that'd be fucking awesome if it did end up being crossplay and they had this huge push for crossplay in their newer titles. I would love that to death, and I'm hoping Riot would try something like that. But it just looks clean. The gameplay that they've shown, they're also taking a lot of people's like issues that they have with CSGO, with it being the netcode, peeker's advantage, hackers, all that, and they're addressing all of this right out the gate. So they're effectively saying this is CSGO, but not all the bullshit. And it looks nicer, it's a new flair, and it's new. So the fact that they are addressing the issues with competitive shooters, again, most of that being netcode and all, and dealing with all of that and hackers and stuff right out the gate, they want this to be a huge competitive game. And if they push it, they market it, push it, and get an esports group behind this thing may take off bigger than Overwatch, bigger than all that, and may become something insane. It really is left to be seen. We have to wait to see what else they release, what kind of promotional material they may have, how they may advertise it, if there'll be some kind of overarching story like Overwatch does, but not a story mode. I can see this game easily being just a competitive shooter. Like there's no PvE, no story mode. Like you hop in, you play competitive modes, they'll have different game modes. You play ranked or normal, and that's all you do. You play the competitive version of the game, and then they'll introduce new characters, new meta, new weapons, and mess with that over time. New maps and shit like that. But there are people that came from CSGO, map designers and stuff, that are working on the team, which is also exciting. Like the person behind Cache, or the Cache rework. If you play CSGO, I'm pretty sure it's the Cache rework, which is respected by a lot of people in the CSGO community as a good map, if I recall correctly. He's working on their team as a map designer. So they have a lot of good talent over there, both visually, technically, and I think, again, this is something that I'm really excited for. I would love to hear it coming out this year if it does, and it being free to play. I think this thing can be fucking ginormous, because they know they have a good monetization method for free to play with League of Legends. They know what to do. And if they follow that monetization method, I could see it working in this game, maybe with some few tweaks to it, and it just be heavily driven by cosmetics. I see no issue with that. And I think it might be pretty fucking dope once it does come out. But again, everyone's kind of just scrounging around for news, seeing what else may happen, people looking into patents and stuff. That's how all this came to be. But Valorant, I have no idea what that means. It sounds interesting, but the game looks badass. And from what I've seen and the gameplay that they've shown, I'm excited. Also, other projects, the fighting game looks really cool. Sam, you I know you're excited. You love fighting games. Have you seen the gameplay they showed for it? I really like the art style that they've showed.
I don't think I've seen too much of it.
It was literally one fucking clip, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Because it's probably still really early in development.
Yeah.
But it was Ari fighting Darius, I think. So it's going to be within the Runeterra lore using League characters.
That's
where
pretty cool.
One thing about Valorant is these are all brand new characters, which makes sense. Guns have never existed in Runeterra besides like pirate like pistols and shit or like gangplank and stuff. Man, I mean, Lucian has energy guns. Caitlyn has a gun, I guess. But these are like fully automatic, like military grade weapons. Like Caitlyn's is like a sniper, weird like bolt action sniper. These are like military grade automatic weapons.
Is she the steampunk character?
Yeah. So this doesn't look like it exists within Runeterra. This might be a whole new world, a whole new area that they're creating for this game alone. So, but like the fighting game looks like it exists within Runeterra. The platformers are confirmed to exist within Runeterra because they're featuring Echo and Zon. That's all I think they've talked about so far. But they've been really, really secretive with a lot of the stuff. They haven't shown much outside of the announcement video they made. So they've been hard at work kind of getting everything ready. I can see an announcement soon for Valorant. I think the other projects are still far off. They also had that top-down one that they were talking about that would play like Bastion or something, like a top-down adventure game. I remember them saying something along those lines too. And again, for all this information, they have an announcement, a 10-year anniversary announcement video on their page, and they talk about most of these projects. And you can sit down here exactly from them what they were talking about. Valorant has had the most news for it since its inception, probably because it's the closest to actually releasing. So I'm just excited to follow it, see what comes out of it, and play the fuck out of this game when it drops. And if it has crossplay, I will come. You heard it here first. I will take pictures if need be to prove. But I am so excited, and it would just make it so much more exciting if this can be played with anyone not dependent on where their choice is for their home of gaming. That'd be cool as fuck. So it'd be pretty dope. I kind of got that itch, that competitive shooter itch. Like the last one I played was purely a competitive shooter. I guess would be Siege. Yeah, I guess it would be Siege. Rainbow Six Siege would be the last like purely competitive shooter I've played. I used to play CS:GO a lot, long time ago, when it was still new, but I haven't really touched it recently. So I just kind of got that feeling. I don't consider a COD a competitive shooter. It has competitive elements, but it's not a competitive shooter, in my opinion. So I don't count that. But I'm just fucking excited, boys. I can't wait to see what comes out of this, what Riot does next with their Forge division, and I think that there's a lot of potential here in the stuff that they create. Definitely excited to see that show too, the animated show. It's gonna be pretty clean. But I know I've just kind of ranted. This was kind of more of a Kyle episode, but these are all topics that I'm like super excited for.
No, I mean, like I'm excited too. It's just I guess I'm just waiting to see like
more of it
come to fruition. Yeah,
definitely.
more of it. And when I see more of it, I'll probably get more excited, especially the fighting game. Like,
oh, dude, the fighting game.
I really want to see it. You know, I want to see more of it, and maybe because of that game, maybe I'll get into the Runeterra lore. I'll be able to understand it better because playing League, like I've had a little bit of fun with it, but it just seems a little overwhelming, especially someone who struggles with MOBAs, like understanding how to play a MOBA and how it works and everything. And then of course the lore behind it is crazy because they have so many champions. So it'd be interesting to see like how many champions they're going to use for the fighting game. Are they going to use every single one? They're going to use the core ones that are pretty famous, the most popular ones. I mean, that's something to think about if they're going to be using characters from, you know, that pool.
It'd also be interesting to see how many they have off bat, because there's like over 130 something, probably closer to 200 League characters now. So how many will this fighting game have off the bat? Will it follow the same monetization method as League does, where you can work to get new characters, but it's free to play? because that could technically work for any of these projects that they're releasing besides the platformer. That are these like competitive projects, it could work for all of them. Heavily cosmetic driven. You work to gain characters, and then they'll fill the roster as time progresses and change the meta as time progresses. Now that'd be kind of hard with a fighting game because usually they're smaller. They're smaller pools of characters because they're easier to balance amongst the whole group. And then just the more that you add as time goes on, having a fighting game with 200 fucking characters in it, it's going to be hell to balance. So I'm interested to see how they manage that. If they'll pick a few characters, if they'll add characters over time, if you can work to get them or you have to buy the new characters, will the game be free off jump? It's all something. It's all speculation, heavy speculation to see where they go. I think the smartest thing they'll do, for them to do, keep the monetization method they have that they've seen a lot of success with, and then just get these teams out, get the art, get them their own art divisions, have them work on all the beautiful waifu skins or whatever the fuck they need to do, and just start sliding them into all the games, and then they'll start profiting off of that, where they've seen so much success in League. So I don't know. Again, like you said, it is all speculation at this point, but it's exciting to speculate. Some of these things may fucking be game changing. Like this shooter may fucking break the competitive shooting scene right now, which has kind of been stagnant for a while. So I'm excited. Oh, back to the flopping titties. I clicked on the chat. We're back here, boys.
I've been there the whole time.
Nice, man. But again, you guys tuning in, are you excited for these projects? Do you care, not care? Let us know. Would you be excited to get a new competitive shooter that's kind of hero abilities, the fighter, the top down, the platformer, the show, any of this? Does any of it excite you? Are you a big League fan? Not stuff like that.
I don't like top down games for the most part.
It's not. It's weird because it's like it's kind of isometric, but like from the idea or what the little that they showed, it reminded like Bastion. If you ever played Bastion, which is a really fucking good game. If you've never played it,
oh yeah,
great awesome game. It kind of reminded me of Bastion, something like that, like an adventure, maybe some RPG elements, but it's like kind of like floating up and behind them a bit, kind of thing, which I think is top down. I would assume. I can't think of anything else. Because isometric's like at that weird, like diagonal angle, looking down that way.
Yeah.
If it looks like Diablo, I'm not interested.
No, it's not Diablo. I'd say look up gameplay for Bastion, and it feels like that, in my opinion.
I think I remember that. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Much longer than that. Bastion came out a long ass time ago. Oh man, probably like 2013 or some shit.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Bastion game 2011. God damn. Holy shit.
All I know is if Darksiders wasn't Darksiders, I wouldn't have picked it up.
Yeah, I feel the same about isometric for the most part. Like I've never grown up with Diablo the only one I've really played in my childhood was that Baldur's Gate game. And that was fun.
I played the D&D one.
But anything's fun when you're a fucking kid. Yeah. I'd much rather.
Champions of North was technically a superior game.
I'd just much rather have like a third person or like a third person kind of thing, like Witcher. Or I know that must have been difficult back then.
Gears of War was third person. I like that.
I know the new Baldur's Gate. The new Baldur's Gate 3 has a third person option. Like you can you still have turn based.
I was meaning to look into the gameplay for that because that's exciting. Like we haven't had a Baldur's Gate game in a while, and it looked pretty from the pictures that I saw, but I didn't see anything about the gameplay. Is it also like Diablo, or is it like the?
Oh, no. This is turn based. So
it's like Divinity.
No. Well,
no.
Except not a strategy game.
It's similar to Infinity. It's basically if you were to play D&D in a video game, like it is literally like you have actions.
Extremely detailed.
You have bonus actions.
Isn't it made by the team behind Divinity? Yeah, Larian Studios.
Yeah, Larian Studios.
Oh, dude, that's clean as fuck.
But they're using the D&D system. They're using a 5th edition for the new one.
Yes, they are.
The D&D games, Kyle, they have them all on Switch.
Loud.
That's why I was talking to you about possibly getting them because they're co-op. But I want to know how they incorporate that first.
Well, this looks pretty.
Because you make all of the decisions. It's a very detailed world, but in the D&D games, it's the writing that really wins it over.
Oh, it is like
because you're
Divinity.
looking down and you see all of the rooms. Some shit will be clouded from your vision because your characters can't see it sometimes.
Oh, this is cool, dude. That's a
But you
brain
move
with
them
feet.
throughout, and then you decide what they can do, and their successes on that depend on their stats and how you've been growing the characters. And you'll have control over some of them. Meanwhile, the NPCs you won't.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
cool. So this dude's like getting height.
And Sam, if he's not interested, but you are, I'm thinking about buying all of the remasters because they're not terribly expensive, and they sell two to a pack. They got the 2 Baldur's Gate games. They've got the Neverwinter Nights and something else, and then they have a third one that's the other 2 of the remaster generation when they had that second Renaissance on PC.
This looks like this would be pretty cool to play. Again, I tried my ass off to get into Divinity, and I just couldn't. So I don't know if this gameplay style might put me off again. But I'm willing to give it a go. Maybe do like the Steam refund thing. Try it for a few hours. But
I don't know if Divinity is crossplay though.
It's not cross-play, but it's cross-save or some shit like that, which doesn't help us at all. But it is multiplayer fully, and I don't know. My friend was telling me that playing it on the controller is kind of poo-poo. I only played it on PC, and the Switch Joy-Cons in themselves are like default poo-poo. So I think the poo-poo stacked upon poo-poo might be problematic. I don't have a. Oh, I do. I think I have to look. I don't remember where they are because I haven't used the Switch for anything other than handheld play for a while. But again, let us know, guys. Are you excited? Add us. Send nudes, as always. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been a long-ass fucking episode. God damn, we need to stop this shit. Holy shit, we need to stop this shit. Oh, my goodness. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Boys, outros. Give them what they came here for. Sam, you first.
All right, time for my weekly joke.
Yep. That's what we're all here for. Don't fuck up.
Okay, so I'll try not to. I actually went over in my head. Okay, so unfortunately my cousin died, and so I had to go to the coffin maker, and I was talking to him and said, well, here's specifications. He's this tall, everything. So everything's going good, everything's like that, and he asked me, well, what's your cousin's name? And I said, oh, his name's Nell. And he's my last cousin. You know, I have no more cousins after that. He said, so he's the last nail in the coffin then?
Hugs and kisses and all your pink parts. Bye, folks. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
I'm not. Life is suffering. All right. So, before we go, I shall leave y'all with a thought.
He's so depressed.
A man will ejaculate approximately 18 quarts of semen in his lifetime. I'm already at 19.